Well, folks, Vinny D here, back with another fantastic video. Hope you're doing well. Um, but today, I'm going to be talking about the fact that it's never really as bad as it seems. And I know that sometimes it feels like the fucking whole world is just like falling down around you. But we're going to get into it. So the reason I want to talk about this subject in this video is specifically because in the last week, I have gone through probably the most frustrating experience I've had in the last 6 months of my life. I generally take care of myself, and I felt so fucking shitty. I wasn't like sick. I just felt like I felt fucked. Like I was having like chest pain. My neck was all tight. It still kind of is. I'm kind of annoyed. I think I gotta go to the doctor, but it was really getting to me because I do like a lot of these things right in my life, and it just like I just felt terrible. And the worst part about this whole thing is that I could not. I was so in my head about how I physically felt that I could not be myself. And usually I'm very enthusiastic, I'm high energy, and I am like really involved in like social conversations, and like when I'm always out and about doing stuff. It was just like a really tough week because I was so in my head. I was not getting good sleep, and I felt like there was nothing I could do to make myself feel better. And at that time, I was having a lot of drastic thoughts because I've struggled with depression in the past, and it still like comes up in like subtle ways in the present. But the way that I was feeling, I had no reason to be depressed, but I was feeling these same symptoms that would be associated with like the proclivities I had towards depression in the past. And I was having drastic thoughts. Like I was just thinking about like kind of like almost like self-destructive type of like thought patterns, where I wanted to like start doing things that were not in alignment with the ideal, with my chief aim, with the goals I've set for myself, and the person that I am becoming. And some of these thoughts were maybe like I wanted to like go and use alcohol, or I wanted to go use drugs, or I wanted to just eat really shitty food, which I did do that, which I would consider somewhat of like a prelapse type of like behavior. And I wanted to just lay in bed and not do shit. And it was really hard because like I said, I like to be really active, and I like to get things done, and I like to feel productive, and I like to be productive. I like to just be fucking in it. I couldn't be in it. I was not living in the moment. I was living in fear. I'm thinking about going to the doctor, all this fucked up shit for the last fucking week. And so what helped me through this process, and I'm still telling myself this, is something I picked up. I was reading a book by Ryan Holiday. I'm not 100% sure which book it was. I believe it was The Obstacle is the Way, but I could be completely wrong, so don't quote me on that. But he talks about Abraham Lincoln in this book, and I don't remember the exact story that he tells, but he talks about how Abraham Lincoln would say this mantra to himself when things were really bad. And because he also struggled really bad with depression. And he would just say, "This too shall pass." And that, for me, has actually been super empowering. One of my roommates calls it reverse clause, which I've never heard of that, but essentially it's like the whole world can be falling down around you, but it's the perspective of what the meaning that we're going to assign to these things are. And it kind of relates back to like the story that you tell yourself about yourself and the things around you and the people around you. But it's subtly different. It's like a form of framing. Essentially, like I felt so shitty, and I kept telling myself, this is gonna pass. Like this is not forever. This is not going to be for the rest of my life. I feel shitty now, but just because I feel shitty now, I don't have to do anything drastic. And then even one step further with the whole reverse clause ideology, this is an opportunity for me to practice stoicism, for me to go through this suffering and still maintain the integrity with the character that I have chosen to be. So it just like changing that, not even changing, it's just like that was my immediate response, because this is something that has been impregnated into my brain for a long time now, this idea of like this too shall pass. I just kept telling myself, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. I felt so shitty. And then like literally like 2 days ago, I was like standing outside and I was like, holy shit, I feel good. I feel like I can be myself again. And I realized in the moment the power of those few words, this too shall pass. And the crazy thing too is that it not only is applicable for when things are negative, but it's also very applicable for when things are going really well. Because when things are going really well, as humans, we have this tendency to get excited. We have this tendency to get on these high pink cloud type of waves, and we get so caught up in how great things are that we forget that like it's not always going to be like this. And then and this happens with people when they go on vacation. Like someone will go on vacation, they'll have like a week or two where they're just like fucking loving their life. It's so good, so great. They're just riding this fucking spiritual, emotional high. And then they come back to reality and they're like on this low because their fucking dopamine's not being triggered, because now they're back to the normal, everyday, mundane life. And even in those moments, I find myself, when I'm really high now, I find myself telling myself like, this too is gonna pass. Like I will like, and it's not like I'm manifesting negative things to happen, because I'm assuming greatness, I'm assuming ideal, right? But I'm assuming winning. But these feelings, these high intense emotions of like negative or positive, like they're not forever. So like when we're feeling low, we have to remember that like this is temporary, and we just have to stoically stick to our character until this emotion, this feeling, this pain is gone, because it cannot sustain, right? And when we're feeling like we're on top of the world and everything's fucking amazing and that we're just like living this fucking dream life, like that's gonna pass too. That feeling, that gratitude, it's not always going to be there. That happiness, it's not always going to be there. So I think that this too shall pass is extremely powerful, because it's very similar in the sense of like memento mori. Memento mori is like, we're going to die one day. And so when I think of that, when I think of this too shall pass, when I think of memento mori, when I think of amor fati, the love of fate, I think about when I'm in the moments of pure gratitude, of pure bliss, pure happiness, pure joy. I have those moments a lot more now in my life because I'm just more content. But when I'm in those moments, I remind myself like, this is going to pass. And what that actually allows me to do is it allows me to fully encapsulate that level of gratitude that I'm currently experiencing. I'm like, wow, this is so amazing. Like, I'm so like, it pulls me so close into the moment where I am just like, wow, like I am such a lucky, grateful person. Like I have so much to be grateful for. And on the flip side, when things are extremely negative and like my fucking chest hurts and my neck hurts and I'm fucking pissed off and I've got fucking 8 people in my ear and it just feels like the world's falling down, I can tell myself that this too shall pass. And that pulls me also, again, into the moment to realize like I'm going through pain. My ability to overcome this obstacle that was inevitable, that I was previously anticipating to happen, this is an opportunity for growth. And if I am discerning, meaning I make the correct decisions even while in this state of calamity, I am going to grow. And I'm going to solidify the character that I have chosen for myself, the person that I want to be and the person I am becoming. And this is something we can all do. But just like that little reminder of like, this too shall pass. In the good times, in the bad times, it's not forever. When things are good, let's be in the moment. Let's enjoy the moment. Let's just take it all in for what it is. And when things are bad, this too shall pass. And let's stay in the moment. Let's go through the pain. Let's feel all of the emotions. And let's use it as an opportunity to get closer to the person that we want to become, to solidify the character that we are becoming. With that, I don't have much more to say, so I'm going to pass with that, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Please click the little button and subscribe. I'm going to put another video right here where you can go watch one of my other videos. I'm probably going to do the one on the story we tell ourselves about ourselves, because that's a good good one to watch after this. So, see you later.